For a long time, we've been told that if you feel stuck, it's on you. That if you're burned out or broke or just feel like checking out of the whole system, it's because you didn't hustle enough. You didn't save enough. But I want to talk to you about something different today. I want to talk to you about why that heaviness you feel, that weight of the world, isn't just in your head. It's real. And honestly, it's not your fault. We are living through something experts are calling a polycrisis. It's this massive tangle of economic instability, geopolitical mess, and ecological collapse that has basically shattered the old deal we made with society. You know the deal? Work hard, be prudent, and you'll be safe. That deal is gone. In the West, we're seeing this show up as something called financial nihilism. It's a terrifying phrase, but it explains so much. The data shows that the gap between homeowners and renters has exploded. In the US alone, that wealth gap grew by 250% over the last 30 years. We aren't just talking about missing out on a house. We are talking about a system that where the starter homes have vanished and the entry level properties are priced like luxury assets. So what do? We adapt. We start doing what they call doom spending. You probably felt this. It's that impulse to buy the nice dinner, the trip, the luxury bag right now, because saving for a house feels mathematically impossible. Critics call it being bad with money, but behavioral economics actually say it's rational. If the future looks volatile and the big goals are out of reach, the value of the dollar spent on joy today is higher than a dollar saved for the future that might not even exist. But this isn't just happening in the wealthy West. If we look to the East, the despair is taking on a different, something much darker forms. In South Korea, they call it po generation. First, they gave up dating, then marriage, then kids. Now they are giving up hope and life itself because the pressure is too crushing. You have young people living in goshewons, tiny windowless cells that were meant for temporary study but have become permanent homes because they can't afford anything else. And then you have India. And we have got to talk about this because the suffering there is wrong. We aren't just talking about burnout like in the West. We are talking about a developing nation where millennials are fighting for survival in a way that is almost being erased from the global conversation. They are caught in the middle of the massive geopolitical instability, border conflicts, and the looming threat of war. In India, you have a generation that is watching the world burn around them while trying to navigate a ruthless, hyper competitive economy. It feels like they are being squeezed out of existence, erased by the sheer weight of history and conflict. It is a different kind of pain when you feel like your entire future is collateral damage to global chaos. So, why am I telling you this? Why am I listing all this doom and gloom? Well, because you need to understand that your urge to step back isn't laziness. It is a psychological defense mechanism called learned helplessness. When you try and result is still instability, your brain eventually decides to stop trying to preserve your energy. It's a biological adaptation to an environment where effort no longer equals rewards. But here's where we have to make choice. We can't fix the housing market or stop the wars overnight, but we can build what the Stoics call an inner fortress. We have to move from toxic positivity, that fake idea that everything is great, to tragic optimism. Tragic optimism means we acknowledge that things are messy. We acknowledge that the suffering, but we have decided to find meaning in spite of it. We don't chase happiness because happiness is fleeting. We chase meaning. The world might be heavy, the game might be rigged, but you don't have to let it destroy you. You can control your internal state. You can find dignity and endurance. And sometimes just realizing that you aren't crazy, that the weight you feel is real, is the first step to lifting off your shoulders.